Hello, welcome back to my channel. For those that are new here, welcome. For all those that have subscribed, thank you for joining me on my journey. Before I get started, I just want to send a prayer out to all who have been affected in LA and have lost their homes, their precious belongings, and loved ones. There have been 10 so far, I believe, that as of this taping, that have perished so far. My condolences to their families. Um, I know that some people, I've been seeing some of the comments online, and I know some people are just thinking that, oh, they're rich, they can build again, blah, 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 blah. But you got to keep in mind that everything isn't replaceable. Yeah, they could probably build another home, but whatever precious artifacts or precious trinkets or whatever they had in their home that cannot be replaced or is gone forever. So you need to keep that in mind. And I don't wish that on my worst enemy. So there's that. But speaking of celebrities, I have some more Diddy news I want to talk about and give my opinion about. Everyone knows about the documentaries that are coming out. I think there are 3 on the horizon. If you haven't had an opportunity, please check out my video. How many documentaries do we need on Diddy? I think there's a docuseries that's coming out on Netflix. Peacock is airing one this month called Making of a Bad Boy. And then there's also one coming out on Max. So stay tuned. However, I wanted to talk about what the Making of a Bad Boy kind of focuses on. And I guess they were trying to spin it to say this is how Diddy became who he is. And one of those influential people was his mom. So in People magazine, it talks about how his mom put him through private school. She said, following his dad's death, his dad's name was Melvin. She says Janice raised Diddy on her own, prioritizing his education and making sure he was able to graduate from an all-boys Catholic college and attend school. Pause. First of all, they're trying to make it seem like because Janice, and I don't know how true it is, but supposedly Janice would throw parties on weekends, and they're making them sound like they were S parties. I don't know, wasn't there, but it was all types of people and the like there, street people, pimps, pushers, things of that nature that were at these parties. And they're saying that that's kind of what molded Diddy into doing those types of parties. But you got to remember, did the white parties always have that after party thing going on? Or that was just a Hollywood party in general? Because my thing is this. If Diddy was a part of that life and he had gone to the Hugh Hefner house, I'm sure he did. He was having those parties too. Did Hugh Hefner go to Janice Combs' parties? I'm just saying. It didn't have to be her parties. And who's to say that those are the parties that molded him? He could have got his thing from Hugh Hefner. That's something on my blouse. I'm just saying. I need more proof. They need more people. All right. So then it says the two moved back to Mount Vernon in New York, where Janice was raised. And Diddy went between the suburb and Harlem, where his grandmother lived as he grew up. In 2006 interview, Diddy shared that his mom took on the role of a father, while his grandmother acted like a second mother, and that shaped the person he became. My mother likes to spend time with me. She loves me so much, and she's so proud of me. She almost killed herself to make sure I went to private school to expose me to travel. Diddy shared in a 2022 live stream video that his mom was single and he'd taken her to strip clubs in the past. The two joked that they would make a dating show for her, but she's too picky. Me and my mom talked about one time doing a dating show with her. He says she's too picky. She's so picky, they don't stand a chance. The rapper went on to say Janice knows how to have a good time, but he's talking about his mom. I really feel like some of these conversations, some of these statements are being distorted. Honestly, I do. Don't know, wasn't there. Diddy has been very generous with his mom over the years, buying her a Bentley, giving her $1 million check for her 80th birthday in 2022. He posted about the day on his Instagram story, showing off the black luxury car he bought her. There's nothing wrong with him doing that. Janice defended Diddy after his arrest, and she did. She wrote a long letter talking about y'all need to give him his day in court. I agree with that. All I'm saying is this. I'm not saying that Diddy is not a monster or couldn't be a monster. Clearly, the way he treated Cassie in that video spells monster to me in big, bold letters, right? He's not a good boyfriend. And he has maybe a S addiction, I'm thinking. But they're trying to charge him with racketeering. And I keep going over the same thing over and over again. They're trying to charge him with racketeering, S trafficking, and what's the third one? Oh, and prostitute. We have not seen any evidence of that, at least not yet. I guess the government is trying to get all their ducks in a row, and I guess they'll divulge that when the time comes. But right now, we have no evidence of any of that. All we have is the video for Cassie, and that's not what he's locked up for. Okay. I know people are probably looking at this video and they're like, why is she defending him? I'm not defending him at all. I don't advocate for people like Diddy because I feel like, for one thing, there's one or two things I can say. For one, at the end of the day, I blame Diddy for even being in this predicament. Okay. Sometimes I feel like people with a certain amount of fame, fortune, they lose sight of who they really are, and they feel like they're invincible or untouchable. I don't always hold a whole lot. I don't always expect a whole lot of truth from people on the sidelines or people trying to get their name in print. Because we have a Jane Doe that watched a Jumbotron that wasn't there, talked to stars that wasn't at an after party that she claimed was, and also pulled up to an after party where no one else was at least on the year that she talked about being there. Yet it's being sought as gospel because she said it. And there's no proof of any of that stuff. Only thing that they've proven is that it wasn't there on the year she claimed she was there. Just saying. Plus her dad not remembering picking her up 5 hours away. And the person that dropped her off, somebody dropped off a 13-year-old, and they're deceased now, so they can't even corroborate her story. I'm just saying. I feel some way about taking what other people say as gospel. Prove it. This childhood friend. Can anybody corroborate his story? Is there anybody else? Because did he have more than just the one friend? Where's the other friends? If you have more, a couple of people, and talk about what type of parties were there or being held. I'm not saying that she didn't have parties. She was a single mom, didn't have a husband. You know, back in the 70s, well, I guess, yeah, because she was, I don't know, how old is Diddy? I guess back in the 70s, they had parties, and they had like groovy parties or whatever. I don't know. Well, whatever the terminology was back then, they had groovy parties. And I'm not saying that things probably didn't go down, but I don't know if that was his regular upbringing. I don't know, because he made it seem like his mother worked 2 or 3 jobs to keep him in private school. That doesn't kind of go together, right? So I don't know. I don't know. All I know is Hugh Hefner had the same type of parties, made people sign NDAs. Quaalude was the drug of choice, and nothing was ever done about it, said about it. Nobody was ever arrested for it. I don't know how else to say this. It is what it is. And if you can't read it between the lines, then don't worry about it. But those of you that know what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he's being targeted because of that. Like I said, at the end of the day, I blame him. At the end of the day, I blame him for being in the predicament that he's in. Because he didn't have to be. He's a daggone billionaire. Okay? He don't have to pay for that type of stuff. I mean, I don't know. He has a kink. And because I don't have a kink like that, I can't relate. You know? And like I said, when certain people get to a certain fame and fortune, they feel like they become invincible and untouchable and they can do what they want. However, they lose sight or they don't evolve. Like, even with his friend Jay-Z, even though Jay-Z said they're not friends, but even with his friend Jay-Z, where he may have gotten down like that at one time. I'm not saying that he did or didn't. I wasn't there, allegedly. I feel like he's evolved and doesn't carry himself the same way because he wants more for himself and his family. See, Diddy never got married. He had children. Loves his children to death, I'm sure. But he never had that significant, like Jay-Z has a wife. And he has a mother-in-law. And a sister-in-law. And it's like, it's a different dynamic. You can always have a bunch of kids. You know what I'm saying? But it's a different dynamic when it's a whole family unit. Then he has his mom. Mom just got married, right? So he has a step mom because I think she married a woman. And, it's a different family unit. Diddy, even though he had children, I mean, he had his mom, but that was it. I think he has a sister too. But he didn't have like his own family unit outside of, all. And I think that plays a part. I personally think that plays a part. But nonetheless, I'm not going to say that his mother was perfect because we don't know what his mother did. And I'm not going to say she didn't throw parties. She may have thrown parties. Did some of those parties get wild? They probably did. Okay. I don't know. What y'all think about that? Is Diddy's mom part of his problem? She could be. I don't know. Could it have been the Hollywood scene with all those vets doing those types of things? They always allegedly, Clive Davis, allegedly, Lucian Grange, allegedly, well, I'm not going to say allegedly about Hugh Hefner because he did have those parties. What was the guy that owned Hustler? What was his name? I think he had parties like that too. So, could he have just been caught up in the Hollywood scene? I think that's more of what we saw. I don't think his mother had anything to do with it. Now, did his mother understand what was going on? Probably so. Did she know what was going on? I'm sure she did. Did she see a lot of things she probably shouldn't have said? I'm sure she had. But it's unfortunate. So this documentary is due to come out. Let me see. January. I forgot what they said. I want to say January 24th, but don't quote me. I think it's January the 24th that it's supposed to come out on Peacock. So we'll have to tune in together. Before you leave the building, can you please like, share, and subscribe? Liking the video is a free way to support the channel. It also lets YouTube know that you have stopped by, and it throws me in the algorithm. And with that said, everyone be blessed. Peace.